Arguably, the worst decision that Marvel/Disney ever made was firing James Gunn for some inappropriate jokes he made on Twitter like 15 years ago. Then DC immediately hires him to do the Suicide Squad. Then Marvel's like, well, hold on a minute. We were just messing around. We're sorry, James. Please come back to do Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And James Gunn agreed to do that, and only that, before he went back to DC to take everything over. Yep, Marvel lost a good one, and they only have themselves to blame. I think I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but for now, Marvel, if you're listening, I hope you learned your lesson, you fucking dick. Okay, this dude, he's called the High Evolutionary. He wants something that the Guardians of the Galaxy possess, while at the same time, the Guardians of the Galaxy need something that the High Evolutionary has. This leads to a 2-hour conflict between our favorite ragtag team of underdogs, that was so hard to say, and one of the most advanced beings in the universe. But what this thing is really all about is family. The cast, it's huge, so I'm just going to quickly touch on the standouts. Star-Lord, he's still sad about the death of Gamora, while also dealing with the fact that a younger version of her is standing right in front of him. If you watched Endgame, then you would know that a younger version of Gamora came back. Through time. The sad thing for Star-Lord is that this version of Gamora, she doesn't give a shit about him. I really like this dynamic for Peter because he kinda has to win back the girl that he lost that also isn't that girl. It's a mindfuck. Now, Gamora, this is the version of her from before the first Guardians movie even happened. Funny enough, I think this is the most comic-accurate Gamora that we've seen. She's more ruthless, she's a loner, she's Gamora. Drax, Mantis, Nebula, and Groot, they all play their respective roles well. They're not much more different than the last time we saw them, just more of a tighter group now. And they argue like a family, because they are one. Rocket, however, is the standout character of the whole thing. We get his full backstory and this history that he has with the High Evolutionary, and it is heavy. Now I fully understand why Rocket is so angry in the first movie, and also why he just loves his team so much. Shit. The High Evolutionary, as a villain, was fantastic. Truly, with all my heart, I hated this guy. He's insanely intelligent, and he wants to create this perfect society. He doesn't care who he has to kill or what he has to kill to make it happen. Just a zero empathy, total egotastic piece of shit, amazing antagonist. The last character I want to mention is Adam Warlock. I never thought that Eyebrows from We're the Millers.
Why don't you leave the girls alone, man?
What are you gonna do about it, Eyebrows?
Never thought he would be such a good fit, but he's a good fit. He put on the muscle and he looked the part. Dedication was there. Here's the thing. I've been waiting for this character to show up for so long, and I'm a fan of him in the comics. This was very early days, young, new to the universe Adam Warlock. As of now, he's not the character that I know and love. And they play out his character like this strong, young, dumb guy. And they built a lot of jokes around that. And I think I would be more okay with it if James Gunn wasn't leaving. I just don't know how much I trust another director to shape and evolve this character into the comic book version that I know. So, does Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 stack up to the other two? Fuck yeah, it does. I absolutely loved it. And now it's solidified as the best trilogy in the MCU. The story is basically a race against time, so a lot of the decision making here is frantic and desperate. We get to see how this team has evolved to trust and rely on each other. They're used to overcoming the odds, so that's basically a skill set for them at this point. And you know what's nice? Sometimes we get to see this perspective of the team from fresh eyes in this new Gamora. I really enjoyed this Gamora's POV. I got to learn more about the team through her. So much time is dedicated to Rocket, and I couldn't ask for a better character for this movie to revolve around. The full Rocket story arc is honestly wonderful. And now that I know where he comes from and what he's been through, I can apply that to the previous movies. I can actually go back and watch movies I've seen a million times with a new perspective. That's the kind of shit that makes Marvel unique. The action was exactly what I hoped for. Adam Warlock is a powerhouse. The CGI is amazing. It's amazing. And everything else just looks amazing. And that goes for all the practical effects and the makeup and the costumes too. I love seeing weird looking aliens. Actually, there's a space station that they go to at some point, and it wasn't built, it was grown. It was grown from living tissue. So the entire set is just gross. I love how obscure and creative and icky it is. It's icky. Every character established over this trilogy gets their time to shine. And I was honestly happy to see all of it play out. This is a definitive conclusion for the Guardians. And I love that because good stories have a good ending. It does have a lot of jokes and humor, but it's not like the last Thor. This is more character-driven jokes. It's more or less just clashing personalities and how these characters interact with each other. And it's hilarious. I do believe that this is the first MCU movie to use the word fuck. And I thought that they used it well. I think what makes James Gunn great is the amount of heart that he brings into his stories, and this had a ton of heart. I definitely got emotional a few times, and I think that's a great thing. If I'm feeling feelings when I'm watching something, that means I've been totally sucked into it. And if what I'm watching on screen has me completely immersed in it, mission accomplished. James Gunn also makes sure to give the comic book nerds that sweet fan service. I never thought that I'd get to see Counter-Earth in the MCU, but there it was. Cosmo the dog. Are you kidding me? I love Cosmo the dog. Other than that slight Adam Warlock issue, I don't think there was really anything else that bothered me. This was a really great Guardians of the Galaxy movie and a fantastic end to the trilogy. Was it worth seeing in the theater? Yeah. It was an awesome experience. I'm gonna go see it again. Okay, as far as all the obsession online about who's gonna die, I'll say this. James Gunn does something that I think nobody expected. Okay? I'll leave it at that. See ya. Subscribe! Okay, I can't believe that I'm seeing this bullshit online of people giving DC shit for putting James Gunn in charge of their comic book universe. These Snyder fans, they act like the last 10 years haven't been a total clusterfuck. I generally like the DC flicks, but as a universe, it's a mess. And that's probably why they're going to have The Flash fix everything, if you know what I'm saying. So now you got James Gunn, who has this track record of 0 bad movies. He made the entire world fall in love with a fucking raccoon. He's done nothing but amazing things with these characters that nobody knows. Just imagine what he could do with Superman. Snyder fans, it's over. Fuck out of here.
Why not?